Hi, my name is Cecile Johnson. I'm CEO of African Development Plan, and I'm here today as part of Global City Unity's community outreach to keep you informed about issues affecting the global black community and issues that require us to move beyond our differences, to unite, and be on one accord to find solutions. So today in the studio we have Chef Amann, who is part of the indigenous food business and ministry, and it's called Earth Science Foods.
Yeah.
And we also have Manski, who's a recording artist and CEO of his own recording company. And he's an entrepreneur. He's done a lot of powerful things. And so this brother has also created a song with a very healing message. So this week our focus is on health and how disconnected we have become and what we need to return to the source of good health. So as you see, we're coming at it from hearing, right? And how music can impact us, as well as what we put into our bodies. So gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Chef Amann, I'm going to start with you. What are some of the most common health issues associated with unhealthy eating in the black community? And name some unhealthy foods that need to be eliminated from the diet, like right away. People could just stop tomorrow.
Well, some of the most common health conditions that black people are carrying is chronic obesity, which is 100 pounds over your weight. Diabetes, high blood pressure, and there's an uprising in gout in our community. So those are the main ones I keep coming across time and time again. Resulting from eating the wrong foods. Like gout is a condition that's caused from overprotein and uric acid crystals getting hard in your joints, and from eating poultry, the yard bird. Chicken carries a chemical in it called purine, which causes uric acid crystals, and people's joints start getting in the big toe. And we eat chicken until chicken is no more. And it's a bird that has it doesn't have a double stomach to filter out toxins. It has a kidney, gizzard, and a liver, so it can't filter out those chemicals and stuff. So we are consuming too much of the yard bird, and it's causing gout. And with protein, so these things can be eliminated by adjusting our dietary needs. We didn't know anything about gout many years ago really quick until I actually changed my diet over 15 years ago. But you got Kentucky Fried Chicken, church chicken, you got chicken, barbecue chicken, and then when them unholy holidays come, we acquiesce to those and become gluttons again, and we're sprinkling chemicals, lighter fluid on barbecues and eating soot and all of that in chicken again, and it's causing, it's one of the main causes of gout in our community. Because I have a friend of mine who went to community college in California. His mother died from it. We didn't know how to cure it then. 15 years ago, her joints was hurting, a big toe started. It's really painful. And we need to change our diets from these destructive foods to a more healthier food. You can get protein from a plant-based diet. You don't have to eat chicken.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to back up a little because I had read your bio and it was fascinating. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself? How did you come on this journey?
I actually really quick was born in Mississippi. I'm an indigenous black Native American. And as strange as people think we all came over here on slaves, no, I'm a Choctaw and Cherokee. And I grew up in the South with my grandmothers, all four of my grandmothers, my great-grandmothers. And we grew the food in the back of our house, and I was the one like, boy, go out there and get them collard greens, go out there and get them sweet potatoes. So I was the one who grew up with this food, and we walked barefooted, and we never caught colds, and we never got sick. One reason, because our food was with us behind our house and our farm. We didn't have any stores and stuff. And my great-grandmother was a root woman. The healer. And so I inherited all that. I grew up around the food. I was in the kitchen with grandmother, and our food grew right there. So we knew we was in control of our food chain, and I was very healthy. Now I don't even remember having a cold or getting sick at all until they moved me from the South to these cities. I started picking up colds and stuff, but I grew up around the food with grandmothers. I am the only one in my family who inherited this. from my great-great-grandmother. I remember every aspect of food that I was going out there getting for them, the collard greens, the figs. We had chickens, but we didn't eat chicken every day. It was once every 2 weeks or something like that. Very healthy people.
Right.
Because again, we were in control of our food chain. Now living in these cities, we got to go to these stores and buy our food. That food travels a long distance. We're not part of the food chain. We're just consuming. We don't know what's done to the food. And that's another reason why we carry in some of these health issues that we think is comfortable and stuff like that. And I've just was blessed that this was passed on to me. As I come to realize over the years, I inherited this, so I'm supposed to be working with food. You know, being that I was from the South and we grew our food and we was very, very healthy people. We never wore shoes, never caught colds, none of that stuff.
This is fascinating because there was an event that happened here in Chicago, and it was teaching people like animal husbandry and stuff, like, you know, 2 chickens and whatever, a goat, right? And when I went to one of these ladies' houses to look at her goats, she said that the neighbors gave her a bad time, right? A hard time.
Right.
The neighbors were black. The neighbors said, we moved to the north to get away from this, right?
Right.
So we have an unhealthy attitude about, yes, people did leave the South to come to the North, and they got industrialized and all of that. However, this disconnect with food is just, I would say, unholy. It doesn't even make any sense because you have to eat to live.
You really do have, let me just say so, I'm a vegetarian. I've been one for 15 years. You know, changed my life. And so Earth Science Food, we promote vegetarian, plant-based diets. I don't believe black folks were, for the most least indigenous to this country, were eating meat, period, anyway. But I still use the collard greens my grandmothers used, the sweet potatoes, but I do it in a healthy way. I don't put all that ham hocks and turkey all in ours. We don't do that. We do it in a healthy way, because we have to, our mission is to create healthy black bodies. One thing that we came back to Chicago, it's the 4th time to promote this, see if we can get support. You cannot change a people's minds or raise their consciousness if their temple, their grand supreme temple, their body ain't healthy.
Right.
It's not gonna work. They need to be feeling good in their body, and then from there the mind can go through a transformation and they can go to their full human potential. Our people in these communities are walking around with sickness and diseases, and they really think it's okay, and it's not okay.
Right.
We are here to teach Earth Science Food and promote healthier bodies, and the healthier bodies that we promote will bring in super children, you know, healthier children. My children are all born vegan. No vaccinations. I caught them with my hands. They're healthy. They got a lot more energy, but they're healthy. I am their physician, you know. So this is something that's very serious to us, because once we feel healthy in our bodies, whatever we do goes to a higher level, whatever we're doing. And our children, and it rubs off on your children and your family. So this Earth Science Food is returning to the food that is designed for the melanated body. What did we really eat? We was raised up eating because things are sexy, Red Lobster, Olive Garden, but that Italian food is for Italians. We're not supposed to be eating gluten. It's gluten. It don't work with this black melanin skin. You know, Red Lobster, it's garbage. It's garbage food. You know, that is something that really edged me on to do this. What we eat, and being that didn't come over here on a slave ship from Africa, we're black Native Americans. What did we eat? Why was my great-grandmother's living to 113, 125? What did we really eat? Because in these cities, we're not eating what we are originally supposed to be eating, so that we can raise the vibration of our body physical and return this as a temple. And then our gifts and our talents will be such a high level that we can change everything rapidly. And one problem is, another one, is the fast foods in these junk food stores that are on our corners are weapons of mass destruction. Because even where I live, I just came here again on Wilcox, they got whatever these stores are with the bulletproof glasses, but they're still selling that garbage to our people. And so we would like to see an Earth Science healthy food store in place of these. We always get the Chinese setting up in our communities and all of these stores selling that sugar, which is one of the 3 whites, the sugars, you know, which burns off your nerve endings. We got alternatives, you know, so we show our people destructive kitchen makeovers. We teach you alternatives. Well, put that sugar down, because the pure cane sugar is part of a lot of mental illness. There's alternatives, like we eat nectar from the agave nectar from the cactus. We try to treat not be too hard on our children, make healthier sweets. We use agave nectar from the cactus, not the sugar. Even and another one of the three whites, while I'm on it, the little Morton salt box with the little white girl with the umbrella is processed salt. High blood pressure in our communities, that's one of the lead. Put that down, but we eat pink sea salt, so we know how to replace all of this stuff. And that saying, our people suffer for lack of knowledge, and I really feel that we need to shift these diets, eating food to die, eating food to live. And when you do that and it spreads, everything that we do will be such a high potential vibration that we would shift a lot of stuff. Because even the leaders, they can try to lead the people, but if the body don't feel good, it's unhealthy. And even the leaders themselves are unhealthy, trying to lead our people, carrying these common sickness and diseases. It's not going to work. We need to all get healthy first, so we can just with our vibration, or do less talking, or put more positive music on a healthy diets and raise that vibration. Then we won't be able to, we don't have to go marching around and doing all of this stuff no more. We will return back to the source, to who we were, and again become the royal family of supreme health, because now we know this temple is together. And these external forces, the TV, go by Jack in the Box come on 21 times a day, and it's not even meat, but McDonald's served over millions.
Right.
All of this stuff is designed to, first of all, to keep us on a lower vibration, and also to not connect with our melanin.
Right.
All of this disastrous, dysfunctional, poison foods, and then we feed that. And one thing we want to do is get this promoted, so grown-ups can stop feeding their children that garbage.
Right.
I saw a young sister in California feeding a baby Coca-Cola through the bottle. Well, they use Coca-Cola for rime and limestone and rust out the toilet. This ignorance, means ignoring the facts that are right in front of you. So, then that baby would carry it on, if it lives, to
right.
that generation. So this is something overlooked. We really don't think we're okay health-wise. And I can look at people and tell what they're carrying. Like for me, I'm blessed because I stopped a generation of destructive foods. I'm the only one in my family. Unfortunately, some of my family is dying. And, for the messenger of the Earth Science Food Minister, the village doctor that hardest people to heal is your own family.
Yes, it is.
So I have to watch that. But then again, I brought forth new children, a new type of healthy babies that are vegan. My babies learning, they're young girls, 2 years old, 8, know how to prepare foods already and everything. So and I'm blessed, I'm gonna be walking with them in health.
Right.
Because I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
So again, I'm here for the 4th time, try to promote this demonstration, motivational speaking. We got a big taste test and we're trying to promote in August. That I'm gonna do it right in front of everybody. And we're going to go into a family that I'm collaborating with called Earth's Healing Cafe, and just show our people the secret behind this food, because 67% of the food chain has now been compromised. We're eating GMO foods and hybrid foods because the mad scientist is playing with the foods, because we ain't growing our own foods.
Yeah, you're right on target, because I have a friend who spent a lot of time in Europe, and he talks about their standards versus ours, right?
Yeah.
And we are really overrun with the GMO. You said a number of little things I just wanted to pick up on. You said you're Choctaw and Cherokee, and you're indigenous, right?
Yeah.
And it's important for those watching to understand that we were here before the slave ships, right? And our people, so this issue of us here is not just as black people who came as enslaved people the last 500 years, but that we were here because our ancestors were touring the world a long time ago. So what you're seeing in front of you is a black man, right? And he's Choctaw and Cherokee, and that's what the Choctaws and the Cherokees look like. So that was critical. You also mentioned that your grandmother, your great-grandmother lived to 113, 125 years.
Miss Anna Douglas.
Yes.
Yeah, my nanas. I love my grandmothers.
Now today in our community here in Chicago, when you look at life expectancy for men and women, right? It's there's a gap already between black and white, and then in Chicago it's like a 14-year gap between income levels, right, and color. Okay, 14 years, and people are dying in their 50s. Grandma lived to 113, 125. My grandfather died at 103. My grandmother was 99. They were farmers too. You see what I'm saying? So they grew what they ate. So there is something that he's saying that's very important, because we have this misnomer that diabetes is a normal thing. In our community, that's all you see springing up now, diabetes clinics, right? And we think that when you're 54 and 55 and you're walking and hobbling, that's normal. I'm in my 50s, okay? I'm just trying to tell you. And I intend to live as long as my grandfather, right? And it is what you eat. Right. So this brother is right on target. He's addressing the food deserts in our community, right? They are poisoning us, and actually we're poisoning ourselves because we become addicted to it. But he didn't say you could stop taking the salt, because I talked to one of my friends and he was like, no, salt is good. But he said, what type of salt? All right, so you're gonna get the sea salt. And he's not telling you to throw out everything. He's talking about moderation and where you're getting it from. Right? We have Pembroke, which is just down the road, maybe an hour, which is a black farming community. We need to support Pembroke so that the black farmers can maximize their land and be creating whatever it is we need. Plus we need to tie into our food chain all the way down to Mississippi. So everything that he is saying, as we do our research and gather on what's happening with us, this brother is right on target. Right? So let me divert a little and go over to our other guest, which is Manski, right? Because brother has talked to us about what we put into our bodies, right? And now you're going to talk about what comes out of our mouth, right? So Manski, you are an artist, you're a CEO of a record label, you're also an entrepreneur. You mentioned you own a U-Haul storage car business, and you love hip-hop. And you're just multi-talented, right? So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, growing up in the city streets, you know, it was hard. So I got into little things, you know, try to put food on my table to feed my family by, you know, selling drugs and doing this type of stuff. You know, where it launched me into prison. And once I went to prison, you know, I found God. Really, my mama tried to introduce me when I was younger, but, you know, I was into the streets. So I really didn't hear. I wanted to be with the streets, what everybody saw everybody else doing. But being incarcerated, it took me as a boy, but it shipped me back as a man. So I kind of found God, I started praying, reading the Bible and stuff like that. And I went on through life, you know, of course, then it didn't stop. I bopped my head a couple of more times, but you know, God was right there to heal the wounds. So, you know, doing music, and he gave me this message, the song called Put the Pistols Down, because around us, a lot of youth dying, and when I was growing up, it just wasn't like that. Innocent babies and, you know, old ladies and stuff wasn't getting killed, you know. This era, this youth, they don't have no guidance, and nobody to teach them anything. Like, you know, they grew up on the music. It's like TV raising our youth today, because it's hardly no fathers in the house, because a lot of guys incarcerated. And so, you know, mothers, you know, raising, you know, single mothers raising these youth. So the youth turn to the streets, you know, and they start, you know, using drugs, you know, doing different things that alter their mind. And the music, it alters your mind. It just gives you that, you know, that hype. So God gave me this message with the song, Put the Pistols Down, to reach the youth, to give them something positive, to, you know, like put a message in their mind, like it's like make them see their own stuff they doing through this song. And pushing this song has been, you know, kind of hard getting it out there, because it's positive. If it was another way, it seemed like it'd get there, but God is opening up doors for us. So with this song, we're trying to go through every door we can go through it with.
Can you give us some more of the lyrics for this song?
Well, the lyrics start off as, you know, put the pistols down, pick up a book, ain't no more room for gunslingers and crooks. Just play it out. Just play it out.
Okay, so hopefully we'll get that song
Yes.
put into the music, into the taping. You mentioned innocent babies and old ladies, right? And when I look at data, I look at the fact that actual murders have gone down, right? But it's who's being murdered. So
Right.
what I'm hearing from you is that now maybe in the past gangs were shooting each other,
Yes.
right? And grandma was sacred, and the baby in the stroller was sacred.
Yes, it
Except
was.
now, everybody, no, there's no sacred anybody,
No
right?
sacred anybody.
So everybody's getting shot. So is this the only song you have, or do you have other songs?
I have other songs. This is the one song that which I want to break the barrier with.
Okay.
Then I have other songs that's positive that was gonna come out with, like keep God, keep faith, keep trust, we gonna make it. Stuff that can uplift our peoples, because we living in hard times right now where the economy, you know, it's kind of hard right now. So I want to be like an uplifter to people. And music is like power. You know, you can reach people through music.
They say music soothes the savage beast, right?
Yes.
So can you imagine with the music where it's telling you to shoot everyone and the women are all kind of bees and whatever, what that music is doing? Because if the music was supposed to soothe you, but now you're instigating, right?
Right.
That's what we're doing with the music. So brother, that is really powerful. Now, many times when we have people who are involved in the music industry, they kind of like in the little box. That's all they see. But you have gone on to other things in your entrepreneurship. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, I started, I used to work for a moving company. And us as the workers, we did all the work. So I worked on for about maybe like 6 months until God started opening my mind up to that you can own your own company instead of keep working for, you know, these guys. You can do the same thing they do. So me and one of my partners, we started out, went and got all our business stuff right, and we started a moving company. And now I had the moving company since '99.
Wow.
Black-owned business since '99.
That's awesome.
It's been a blessing. It was hard starting out, but I started off, I made it to the level where I bought me an office. And once I got the office, you know, I had a big lot, so I had office space. So I started thinking out the box, like, what else could I do? Partner up with some people about having this lot and, you know, in this office. And I used to rent U-Hauls when I had the moving company, with my moving company, because I needed trucks. When I first started out, I had my own trucks. So I reached out to U-Haul and partnered up with them, and that's how I've now become partners with U-Haul. And I've been partners with them since '08.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So you saw an opportunity from just learning from others. Sometimes we have to learn
Yes.
from others, right? We see how easy it is. So that's really nice. So what about young people? Do you have any young people working with you, and how do you reach out to them and show them what you've learned?
I hire probably maybe 100 guys, 100, 150 guys a year. A lot of them hang in there. I love mentioning out to people that's been to prison, the youth, people that's been down the same walk of path that I've been down. That is hard. When you get out of prison, you got those X's on your back. It's hard to find a job. So it's really like they twist your wrist.
Right.
You know, and you out and you don't got no source of income, so you forced to do what you always know how to do, because you got to feed your family.
Right.
So no one's just gonna let you lay up on them, you know. But God showed me that as long as you keep faith and keep your best foot forth, you don't have to do those things. That's what he's using me. He put my office happened to be in my old neighborhood where I grew up, where I did all the bad things. So he's using me as his vessel to show the youth, to show the peoples that you can do something positive in life if you want to, if you put your best foot forward, if you open up your mind to different things, it can be done.
Right. That is powerful. Again, those are good examples, you know, of what can happen. A lot of times we hear of the barriers to ex-offenders, right? We hear of the fallback and how they end up coming out of the circle or going right back into it, like on a treadmill, right?
Yeah.
But in your case, you have really seemed to have learned lessons that require you to do a lot of deep analysis and to. A lot of our brothers who are involved in the drug trade, etc., are actually great businessmen, right?
Yeah.
They have the entrepreneurial skills, right? But they just lack that opportunity or someone to show them that these same skills could be used in another way.
Right.
And so that is powerful that you are using that example and then actually bringing them back in to see through you. And from 1999 till now, that's a long time.
Yes.
You know, so I want to salute you on that. That's really an honor,
Yes.
you know, to see that.
I couldn't did it without God. That's what I would like to get to you. I'm not the greatest guy, but from him, I know him in my heart. And that's where he judged the heart. People look at the flesh and point fingers, but God judged the heart. It's just flesh, you know. So without him, I couldn't have done none of this. I probably wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for him. So my heart goes out to try to teach the youth and be a positive mentor to let you know you can do something. It get hard, but you just got to keep that faith and keep your best foot forward.
Calling on that higher strength.
Yes.
That's powerful. Brother Chef Amann, I want to ask you, you have explained about eating to die. You call it the diet, right? And consuming the wrong foods over a daily basis. Explain how our current food chain has been compromised and how the natural foods have been replaced with synthetic foods and why it's not beneficial to us anymore.
Well, the food chain we're not part of the food chain far as growing our own foods. We're just now starting to, I see here urban gardening and things like that. And actually that lady down in Pembroke, Basu Family Farm, maybe kin to us and stuff. So I went down there. See, our whole thing is, first of all, we're the world's greatest consumers of. We like to eat.
Yes,
you
we
know,
do.
it's a fetish for us. We're not part of the food chain, and we don't see what's being done to the food. We are most likely in these communities are going to shopping at the markets, the stores. Well, that food has to travel to get to us. And as of 5 to 7 years ago, they started patenting seeds and creating genetically modified foods. You know, again, which they call Franken foods because they're cross-gening the foods, fish genes and tomatoes and animal genes and rice and all of this mad scientist foods. And half of the foods you buy in the store that we do don't have seeds in it, and that alone. So if it's a hybrid food, it don't even produce seeds. So how do you think more food are growing? So most of this food is laboratory, factory foods. The food don't have seeds, and they're cross. The more you cross foods together, the weaker the healing properties. So a plum becomes a plum-quat. You know, it's mixed with a plum or something else, and it loses its healing properties. Well, that food ends up in our communities, in these stores. If you consume genetically modified foods, it attaches to your DNA. And for us, because of this melanin in our body, melanin does not discriminate. Anything it pulls in, it adapts itself. You know, that's why we're the craziest people on drugs, because it don't not discriminate. It will take it in and use it for itself. Just like the brother was saying to music, that crazy music make us act crazy because our melanin adapts to it and it amplifies it. So he's reversing it, putting out the positive stuff. So we know so the black farmers, we need to get the black farmers local, where we know where our food is coming from. We know it's not pesticide. We know it's not genetically modified food, because we actually do not need anything else to make us more crazy. We're trying to come out of this stuff.
Right.
You know, so these big companies, Monsanto is one of them, who have patented the seeds of the original foods on the planet. And then sued the farmers and forcing people to buy what you call suicide seeds from them. Means when you put it in the ground, it will kill itself, anything that eat it in the soil. The thing with this is we are so disconnected with the planet that we don't understand these things, because we got to eat to survive. We ain't on the level where we don't need food now. I'm at another level with it because my family, our food is light. We're vegan, plant-based food, more liquid diet. This is so important because in the next 3 to 4 years, the food chain will move into a whole different planet. You may not be able to plant food on the planet anymore because the planet is changing. Where there was magnetism in one area, there will not be. And north is changing the south. So this whole transformation of this planet, nature, is shifting right now. So we're going to have to learn how to eat on a certain different level. And that's where earth science food come in at, because you have to survive. You know, we're the last people also that I've seen in my research are not storing up seeds. Everybody else has seed banks. We're not growing foods. You know, like we really don't have to worry about what's going on. And there is a drastic change and a shift going on to the planet. So if this external force is controlling the food chain, replacing it, want you to eat this virus-filled food that will attach to your melanin. We survive because this melanin is strong. We've been eating it. You know, we've been eating it for many years, but we survive because we have this chemical called melanin, but we haven't connected with it all the way. So we need to understand at this point, putting in our bodies, what we put in our bodies, at least for our children, so they can make it through, because there's a drastic change coming on with the food chain even more. And these external forces that's controlling the food chain, shooting chemtrails in the air, that's falling into the soil. Even if you do plant, you're going to eat that aluminum, barium, synthetic red blood cells. All this stuff we've been breathing in, and it's in the food, it's in the soil. And then I'm not even going to get into the water chain. That's a whole different corporate entity that's controlling that, because you should not be paying to drink water anyway.
Right.
So what we do with Earth Science, we have crystals. I know George was talking about that. We supply crystals and teach you how to use crystals to purify water. I'm a crystal supplier for California in here, and Precious Gems, that can be used, the crystals, to do things in your living environment and to influence the water, to change the structure, the negativity. And these things are really important. We don't think that's important, but it is. We have to eat, drink, and breathe.
And if someone was to do that kind of thing, right? Change their life, how expensive is it for them to do that?
Well, you got to look at how expensive was it to
eat
get
unhealthy?
into the destructive.
Right.
You know, even though Taco Bell will sell you 25 tacos for $1, you've been eating for 25 years, they've made trillions. McDonald's done told you we made over billions.
Right.
So it's really not, what's more important, if their intention is there, we have a big heart, I'll give. You know, and this is a university, Earth Science University, then we could take you to the immortality foods. Europeans say longevity, but we don't use their stuff, immortality foods, because we carry some of the greatest detox formulas and minerals that's been on this planet for thousands of years that you can't buy in any stores or anywhere. So we do the Earth Science Food Coach, and it's really not expensive. Remember, I'm an indigenous sovereign person. I rely on this gift that was given to me to support me and my family, because we don't want nothing from the European. We're self-sufficient. So I have to travel. That's why if it's not going to go off in Chicago, I'm going to head back to California. Right. And stuff, 'cause that's how I support myself. You know, even though we created this for the black communities, you know, some of our messages tend to leave the community a lot. I've always been the one like, well, I want to I grew up in Chicago, by the way. I left here 35 years ago. This is like a homecoming in, you know, but I also, I don't have any tolerance for just not sticking around. You need to do what you're going to do. So there's no middle ground with this program. Either you want to live or you want to die. Right. You know, if you go out the door backwards, you know, eating the destructive foods and not change their life, that's what you want to do. But, and just being here for a while, this time for the 4th time, I know we don't really want our messages to try to lead the communities. We need this in our community. So I collaborating with a Rastafarian brother who came from California. We really want to put an Earth Science Food Coach University program together, because we can cure all those things. Those common sickness that people think are really good to walk around with and stuff. So
well, you talked about immortality food. What would some of those things be?
Well, we move the being, the individual, First we do like an internal makeover, what type of foods that people are eating. Then we point out the destructive ones, and we replace it with alternative. Like you say, I ain't trying to stop you from eating salt. That salt you're eating don't have any healing properties. That's why your feet swell up and you get a high blood pressure.
So we have had Chef Amann and Manski on today, and they have been such, I mean, my mind is like, right, with all that I have learned from both of you. Both of you are healers, that's how I would see it, because the music, right, and what you're trying to do to the young people. And then Chef Amann, when you talk about all these things with the food and the diet, I mean, you just make me feel stuffed just sitting here, right? Like I need to go and cleanse, all right? And then you talk about the crystals, and I've had a little experience with crystals in the past, so I know what you're saying, and I realize how much I've shifted. I need to kind of shift back. You've talked about the changes that we're going through in the environment and how even the way we're going to grow food, et cetera, is going to change. So what I would say to the listeners is that Chef Amann gave you his phone number, and could you give it to us again?
Yes, my number is 773-240-4111. That's my main personal number. And you can email me at earthsciencefood@gmail.com, earthsciencefood@gmail.com. Put you on our emailing list.
Okay.
And share with you more of the services that we have, because we're deep. Yeah.
Yeah, and you said you have an event coming up in August with the taste testing and all of that. And so we would like, if you, once you put the people on the email list, to blast that out so we can get it out there to the community.
Most definitely.
You know,
Most definitely.
and follow up on that. And don't give the people the other number. They only need to call you if they're serious, right? We ain't got no time for unserious people. Waste our time.
That's right. That's
So-
right. Thank you for reminding me. I've been
you know, how about you, Brother Manski? You have been going out to schools. If you'd like people to contact you so you can come on out to the schools, how can they reach you?
You can actually go on, look me up on Facebook, Manski Man, or you can follow me on Twitter at Manski Man, or you can follow me on IG, Manski Man 1, or you can go to our website, betterlifeentertainment.com, or you can also call me if you're serious, you want me to come out.
I was going to ask you about that because we are starting a 31 days August by Black, and we want the 31 days to go to 365. So if you're moving, call Manski. If you need a U-Haul, you call Manski. If you got a car need, call Manski. And if you need crystals and some food and a new way of life that's going to put some years on you, you need to call Chef Amann. So Chef Amann is we're happy that you came back to Chicago, and we know that coming back each time, you probably more than anyone can tell us what you're seeing, even in our deterioration, right? So we really welcome that you're here and that you're bringing this positive message and action. And so that's good. So I want to thank you both for coming out and sharing all this knowledge. This knowledge is priceless, you know? So thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Brother Manski, we're going to hear your song and, you know, and have them. When we close out, that'll be part of it, and so we welcome you and thank you for that. Again, my name is Cecile Johnson, and I am CEO of African Development Plan, and I want to really thank Global City Unity Community Outreach for giving us this opportunity to speak to these two wonderful people here in the studios, talking about the Black community, not just pointing out the issues, but also how we can become active in healing ourselves, and that's what these gentlemen are doing. They're healing us through their music, healing us through their herbs and spices and things. And so, thank you for that.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Gang banger, drive-by shooter, send-off man, coward, trigger-happy clown in America. Say that. This is for you shouters who think the streets a joke. Coming up hard, mama can't afford the new Jordan, so you wanna go out and poke. Nowadays, little homies ain't gang banging on, they set trippin'. We from ABC, y'all from 1, 2, 3, and we don't like y'all studs. GDs, fighting the BDs, moles at the foes. I'm sure Jeff and Larry don't agree with this embarrassment. They probably like us brothers to put our heads together and try to come together. However, y'all young bucks, y'all so confused these days. Y'all think 30 poppers, boy, and body counts give you crazy. Fighting against your own trades while other gangs in jail. sleeping and eating next to each other. Wondering what's wrong with you, brothers. We gotta get along some way, somehow. We got a better leader now. He run the whole world, so sit down or get knocked down. Matter of fact, bow down and tell God you're sorry. And put the pistols down, shout and pick up a book. Ain't no more room, boy, for gunslingers and crooks. Just play it out. Just play it out. It's played out. It's played out. Kids wanna live. Put the pistols down, shout and pick up a book. Ain't no more room, boy, for gunslingers and crooks. It's played out. It's played out. It's played out. It's played out. When times get hard, who y'all call? I don't hear nobody saying, devil help me all. I talk gutter to the streets, teach education advice to the kids, encouragement to the hopeless, like a pastor, man. Preach a good word to the church. God bless me to be versatile, shouty, and get on any level and put down my heat. I was put in this rap game as a reflector of the streets to let you young cats know, boy, get right, and you can get on your feet. JC ain't tripping on what you already did. He told me to tell y'all, now it's time, kid. Life without Christ is voluntary slavery. Waste time, stay blind. You can miseducate your mind. You can play deaf to this message, but keep living, boy. You'll go through plenty of disappointment and stresses. You can't fool them lie detector tests. Put the pistols down, shout and pick up a book. Ain't no more room, boy, for gunslingers and crooks. Just play it out. It's played out. It's played out. It's played out. Put the pistols down, shout and pick up a book. Ain't no more room, boy, for gunslingers and crooks. Just play it out. It's played out. It's played out. It's played out. So listen up, little homie. It's time to get serious about the future. You got a mom with the pops, maybe a little kid. How would you feel if a straight bullet shoot her? Then you found out it was your best friend. He was standing across the street from your crib when some old young cats rolled up hollering, whoop wop the wham. Rico pulled out his 38 revolver and started busting, bam bam. One of them bullets ricocheted off the pole and went in your house. You breaking the crib to go get your thing and found your mom's shot in the head, dead on the couch. Do you trick? You ain't got an answer. To be continued. Let's get real about life. Like, was that right? Rick was repping your hood while y'all be slanging and hanging out all night. I can get deeper and deeper. The more I think about it, boy, I get weaker and weaker. Imagine that was only a dream. So put down the guns and act your age and have some fun. Cause closed caskets and life support machines are being paralyzed from the waist down. Now who won? The penitentiary. Don't run. Put the pistols down, shout and pick up a book. Ain't no more room, boy, for gunslingers and crooks. Just play it out. It's played out. It's played out. It's played out. Put the pistols down, shout and pick up a book. Ain't no more room, boy, for gunslingers and crooks. Just play it out. It's played out. It's played out. It's played out. Kids wanna live. Kids wanna live. Kids wanna live. Kids wanna live.
Hello, my name is Charlene Nyomo, and I feel blessed to be here in the studio with Global City Unity this evening. It's giving me an opportunity to address some things that I think are so important for our community. First of all, I'm a grandmother, and as a grandmother, I'm very concerned in seeing the negative things that are taking place in our community, especially as it relates to all the killing and an inability for us to be able to get together and sit and talk and collaborate. We've been pushed so far back away from our real reality that we're so insecure that if someone expresses an idea that's different from ours, we look at that as something that is opposite, and it's not. It is an addition to what we're thinking. Our culture has to do with collaboration, with everybody working together to problem solve, not in competition with one another. I think a lot of the violence that's in our communities today comes about as a lack of love and a lack of God. And I say a lack of love because as a woman, I'm proud of who I am as a woman. And I feel that one of the things, God gave me love to bring to the table. And I feel that a lot of us women have gotten so caught up in the status quo. There was an old saying when I was a young woman that the players used to say. They said the game is out there for everybody. It's who goes for it. And it seems as though everybody is going for it, because you don't even hear. I grew up with love songs. I don't know what's going on today. It seems to be something against women that's written into a lot of these modern records that a lot of the young people are dancing to, and I don't think that's positive. It's not. Nothing is positive when you and your mate are arguing. The whole thing about love in our community, that starts in the home. So if there's a war going on between the parents, then the kids are suffering. We, especially us women, we have gotten too caught up in what I consider the man's thing, which they're better at war than we are. But we can be real good at war too. But let's be good at love. Let's be good at focusing on our children, because God gave woman the responsibility of carrying the seed. In my grandmother's day, my grandmother had 13 children, but she knew if little Johnny down the street wasn't being treated right, she would find a way to bring some love in little Johnny's life. Johnny, do you like apple pie? And she said, will you come over tomorrow? I'm going to make you an apple pie. She never talked against his parents, because she knew sister so-and-so and brother so-and-so, they were going through something. That was the village. Once the village sort of moved away, those kinds of children began to fall through the cracks. And that is what is happening in our communities today. It's hard to even have a conversation, because if one person expresses an idea and it's a good idea, the other person with the good idea thinks that you're trying to push their idea away. Who heard of such stuff? That is not who we are. There was a man that I saw recently on within this forum who was talking about restorative justice. Well, before we left Africa, in the village situation, at least once a month for 3 or 4 days, time would be set aside so all of the disputes that were going on within the village could be solved, because the people that understood what it took to make things work, they knew that that the village could not survive if everybody was arguing. So it was important that every month a certain number of days was set to the side to work people's problems out. That's what restorative justice is. It was practiced all over Africa. So we've got to reconnect with who we are. Now, when I hear people talking about what our test scores are, that makes me so angry. Those pyramids were already built by 5000 BC, and it took a knowledge of astronomy, astrology, geometry, and all that to do that. And now we can't learn? We are living out someone else's idea of who we are. And we've got to accept that God didn't make a mistake in this. I'm not ashamed of who I am as a woman of color. I wouldn't change, even though my life isn't perfect. I don't find it necessary to want to be somebody other than me. And that's the bottom line. And that's the way I want other people in our community to feel. But it's so bad that people of color don't want to listen to someone who looks like them. And until that happens, until we can learn to love each other again, then that economic stuff, it's not going to take place, because ain't nobody going to buy nothing from nobody who looks like them. So I feel that a lot of this has to do with, initially, the bottom line is the breakdown, not in the family. It starts with the man and the woman. It starts with God having given woman the responsibility to carry the seed. And we are supposed to make it our number one job to do everything we have to do with those like us, other women, to nurture and to bring love about and to make sure that we don't get so caught up in what we have to do in our relationships with our men that we get pulled so far off into the war we don't even have no love coming out of us. So what I also want to say is that in the earlier millennium, when perhaps when those pyramids were being formed, and let me say this, that Egypt was the daughter of Ethiopia, and Ethiopia was a kingdom before the land that Egypt stands on came out of the water. In other words, every year the Nile flows down and takes soil down there. And Ethiopia of the Bible was already there before the land came out the water to build those pyramids. Okay? So now, once that civilization progressed to the point where Egypt was built up, then all of the other, the Greeks, and then later the Romans, all had a relationship with that part of Africa. By the time power had moved from Ethiopia, and by the way, the first Bible was written in Aramaic, which is the language of Ethiopia, okay? By the time power had moved from Ethiopia to Egypt to the Macedonians, whom they called Alexander the Great or the Alexander the Greek, and from after them came the Romans. Well, the Romans colonized everybody. They were into Jerusalem when Jesus was born. They had colonized the people that have the power today, the Teutonic people that we call Anglo-Saxons. They're just a part of that. But when the Romans had been jumping on everybody, and when those Teutonic people got tired of it, they went down there and destroyed the libraries in Rome. And when they destroyed the libraries in Rome in 500, all knowledge of who African people were just disappeared. So we fast forward to around 18, well, I don't know exactly when the Rosetta Stone was deciphered. The Rosetta Stone was a stone that had 3 languages on it: Egyptian hieroglyphics, classic Greek, and another Semitic language. Semitic meaning mixed or mulatto. And this man named Champollion was a Greek scholar, and he deciphered the Greek. And when he deciphered the Greek, they became shocked, because then they knew for the first time that the hieroglyphics weren't just pictures, they were a language. And then they saw what they had been doing, that they had been practicing medicine, that they had been practicing astronomy, astrology, and a lot of other things. And that's when a cover-up started as to who we were, because we were in slavery at the time. And I think in a certain way, we're still dealing with that struggle, because a fear came up, and I think a decision was made not to maybe open up, but to close off. But we're all, there's only one race really, and that's the human race. So how do we come back together? We're talking about our community, we're talking about humanity. We have all the skills we need to solve these problems and to stop this silly stuff that's going on in our community. And I don't have all the answers, but I think that a lot has to do with me recognizing my role as a woman. I ain't gonna talk about the warrior woman. That'll be a secret when things don't go the way they're supposed to. But I want to be grandma, and I want to be the nurturer. I want to be the one who makes sure that my family knows that I love them. I want the children that I work with. I work with children too. I live up in the country now. That helps me to be a loving person too, because I'm not exposed to stuff all the time that make me negative. But I'm determined to use the knowledge and the skills that God has given me all the way around to make this a better world and to bring love back into the equation. And I thank you for listening to me.